Hello there, welcome to Tech and Cash. How are you all doing? I'm back with another post-game review here. So, a pretty good starting hand. That's the Dove and the Mallard, both tier A. Pretty strong starting here. There is the Wobbler in the tray. Would love to get that Wobbler. That would make a 2 points engine off my forest. That would be really strong, coupled with the Morning Dove. And of course my opponent took the Wobbler. It's pretty nice. Yeah, it's interesting with the Dove. I recently had this discussion with someone from the tournament server. I remember when, not long ago, maybe it was long ago, like years ago, when I started playing on the tournament server, I noticed that Dove get play in the wetland a lot. But at one point, there's a turning point where now Dove is a lot more popular in the forest. Like a lot more people play the Dove in the forest, and it was kind of interesting. I was wondering what changed. I think one argument that I try to make was, overall in the regular game, you activate your forest a lot more than you do with the wetland. Maybe that's why playing the Dove in the forest, the return is better. It was kind of surprising that I got a chickadee from my opponent oyster catcher here. They must have gotten something really good for them to give up that chickadee. And I guess we'll find out what that bird is eventually. I guess that's not bad, having the Dove and the chickadee, and also pick up the predator there, so I can potentially have a 3 points forest engine here. With food and egg. That's pretty solid, and my wetland is pretty strong with the mallet there. I can gain up to 3 cards, so that was a pretty good start. But of course, in terms of points on the table, I'm slightly behind here with 2 0 points bird. My opponent already got 6 points. They have a pretty strong forest as well with the net catcher, so I think overall it's a pretty equal start here. Yeah, I avoid spending that egg on the mallard when I draw a card, so that I was hoping that I can win first end of round go without laying eggs again, and I was just planning on spending eggs on the Dove in round 1, and my opponent played a fish crow. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I would have taken the fish crow and gave my opponent the chickadee. It is a little bit of a waste because they just invested in that 1 point net catcher and then they got the fish crow. But the fish crow is just it's just a better option in the long run. Being able to lay eggs and turn some eggs into food in the grassland. Yeah, at one point, I was even thinking about playing a Hinga just so that I get the second bird in the wetland, so I can draw a card without spending eggs. I was getting ready to lay eggs to win the first end of round goal, but good thing my opponent drew cards, so I can play the chickadee and still win first end of round goal, so that was pretty good. Pretty good second round trade here. The Martin, definitely a good pick. Always a tuck and draw in early game, you just cannot miss those. Here I'm even looking at the bunting. I think the bunting is a nice play here because I'm running a forest engine. I get a lot of food, so with the bunting, I can have a late pivot to grassland and still make sure I have a strong grassland engine. So that was pretty good. And I think the tray and the food work out really well for me in this round 2. If you look at the hands I have here, I have the martin, which is must play, and then I have the lazuli bunting, my second grassland bird, and I also have the tern, which is perfect as I need another bow nest or star nest for the bunting. So, and I have 5 turns here. I basically planned it out so that I gain enough food, and I'm making points while I'm gaining food here, so that's pretty efficient. And then I play the martin, the bunting, and the tern, and then I lay eggs. And with 3 cavity nests, I have a very good chance of winning the second end of round go as well. So I think round 2 went really well for me here, and I was really happy about it. That there was also a discussion that we had recently about going first and second. What's the advantage? I think based on the data that we collected before from one of the Premier League tournament that we organized, so we collected data from over 400 games, and we found that the overall win rate for player going first is about 55%. So you get about 5%, additional win rate right here, like overall. It's not huge, but I guess it is significant. And it kind of makes sense because going first, you get to see additional 3 cards in the tray, and making, you get to make the decision, like you have extra information in terms of what birds to keep, what food to keep, and you have additional 3 birds to choose from. So that makes sense. You have a slight advantage. But the counterpoint to that is also with going second, I guess in a 1v1 game, you get to see the second round tray, and typically, at the beginning of round 2, you have your wetland set up, so you are ready to pick up cards, and you see a fresh new tray. So I think that make up for the advantage for going first that I just talked about. And also, even if you go first, there's a good bird in the tray. Spending 1 turn picking it up, there's already some opportunity costs associated with that. So I think overall that's why the advantage wasn't as significant as at least I initially thought. Yeah, the fish crow, the American crow would have been nice there, but my opponent picked that up. Not really happy with what I was drawing here. I guess the still is nice because of the food web expert. Was really hoping to draw some grassland bird here. That's the thing about drawing cards. Once you draw a few like bad cards or cards that you don't want, like you get kind of chicken out and decide not to go with the deck. And I think if I've gone with the deck, I could have drawn the snipe, which is good for food web expert. That's just psychology there. I ended up drawing the nuthatch. I'm not even sure if it's worth playing the nuthatch at this point. Again, it seems nice if I play the nuthatch, I get a 3 or 4 points engine, but really this is like round 3. Like I'm not sure how many turns I'm gonna activate my forest, especially given that I have a strong grassland going. So I think picking up that nuthatch was a mistake here. It was an impulse play, and I mean, now looking back, I also questioned my decision of playing the corn door here. I think some people from tournament server watching this, they'll probably make fun of me playing the corn door here. And even now that I'm looking back, yeah, I have to agree. I think the corn door was a misplay here. For -1 point at round 4, while I have a 5 points engine in the grassland and a 3 points engine in the forest, it was really unnecessary gamble with that corn door. Yeah, that was a bad play with the corn door. And it just escalated. After I played the corn door, I played the screech owl because I was trying to get that next box builder. So the screech owl pushed me to the first tier of the next box builder. So that was a 6 points play. Not the worst, but definitely now looking back, you know, I would those 2 play was questionable. You know, I was kind of blinded by the bonus card too, so did not take my own advice regarding bonus card here. By the way, I have a video on top 10 beginner tips that I made with Flan from Winging It. It's on my channel, so if you're interested, please check it out. And one of the tips is don't get blinded by bonus card, which is what I just did. The irony. I guess sometimes I just forgot. And I don't think I meant to activate my hunting power there. I forgot that my opponent got the magpie, so I give them a free food. Could be pretty huge for them. So now the plan is to play the blackbird to gain some card. I really need that. I think it would be really nice to have a third grassland bird, but at the same time it's also really not, because even with 1 additional grassland bird, I'm only gonna be laying 3 eggs, and I have the bunting, so I think I more likely than not is going to run out of egg space. But the boring owl is a nice pickup, because the problem with my bunting is that I only have the turn to receive the second egg. So if I play the boring owl, then I have another star nest. That would help me to run my bunting much smoother. So I think the end game here could be play the boring owl and lay eggs 5 times. So that's 5 eggs. 25 plus 8. 30 something. I think I could have ended my end game there. But I decided to play the still to draw additional cards. Yeah, I think I could have ended my games there by playing the boring owl and then lay eggs 5 times. So that was 5 eggs plus, no, 5 times 5, 25 plus 25 plus 8 that I already have is 33. I think I have barely enough space to lay all the eggs. Since I play the still, now I have extra cards. The Bell's V-Rails is nice because of the Food Web Expert, and the Star Nest is gonna help me with the next box builder here. Again, interesting decision here. I can play the Bell's V-Rail and the Borrowing Owl. That would bring me to the second tier of next box builder. That Wobbler play was kind of questionable for 1 point in round 5. Maybe they're trying to compete for the 4th and round goal or for the bonus card. Not sure. So I can play the Bell's Weaver and Borrowing Owl and win and get maximum next box builder and 2 star nest. Or I can also pick up the house rent so that I also get to unlock the second tier of Next Box Builder. At the same time, both the Bell's Vireo and the House Wren qualify for the Food Web Expert. So I was thinking that maybe that's a better play there. So that's like, you know, 4, 5, 9 points by default before the bonus card. 9 points actually plus Next Box Builder another 3 points, so that's 12. I guess minus 3x, so 9 points play net. I do have to gain food, and I'm gambling a little bit here because I need 3 grubs, and I ended up only getting 1. And yeah, 1 grub wasn't enough, so I had to exchange that 1 card for additional food. And exchanging the additional food also means that I miss a tug with my Martin in the last turn. So yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate with the bird feeder there. But that's how it goes sometime. But it's still gonna be pretty nice. So like I say, the House Wren plus Vireo is 9 points before the bonus card, and then the last turn when I lay eggs, I can make 6 or 7 points. So, and I free up some space for eggs. But you know, that's Wingspan. Would have been really nice to get some additional points from the Vireo, but nope, no point, 0 point. But my opponent board is not looking that strong. They have 2 crow in the grassland, and they have the barn owl, which is not great, and the barn swallow also got down kind of late. It was interesting that they played 2 1-point birds in round 4, so I think they were struggling a little bit as well with their card. So yeah, so the end game I think worked out quite nicely for me, except for that 0 point bonus card at the end. Oh yeah, they got quite a bit of bonus as well from the Starness, I think. But I think my tug is gonna carry me over, so that was a pretty good win for me. Yeah, that was the game. So basically started the game with a forest engine, and then I think the key there was really like I pivoted at the right time. I think that's something to always think about. Running a forest engine is nice, but the point making potential is just not as strong as the grassland. As you can see, even with just the Martin and bunting in the grassland, with just 2 birds, I have a 5 points engine, and in the forest with 3 birds, that was only a 3 points engine, and it's not even guaranteed with the hunting. So yeah, knowing when to pivot can be the key sometime with the game. In any case, that was the game. I hope you enjoy watching this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.